Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek at Origins 2018. I'm sitting down with Jim Long from Ares Games, and he brought us Masters of the Galaxy. Oh, sorry.
Masters! There we go, that's it.
So what kind of game is Masters of the Galaxy?
So Masters of the Galaxies is a 4X game, so it says on the box that I have to always look because I'm never sure what the last X is, but expand, explore, exterminate, those are pretty easy, but then you exploit, exfoliate, expatriate, X-dominate, so you do all those things in this particular game. The game is played basically by completing agendas, and so here's the map. Players start in the four corners. The first thing that happens is you'll get a species. And this species shows that this race has 3 agendas, every species does, but how they complete those agendas is very different. So the cubes here in the center represent the different kinds of resources. And so in everyone's bag, you start with 25 resources, 5 of each of the 5 colors, and then you'll be adding more of the resources to your bag as time goes. You'll be spending the resources to complete these different objectives. When you complete the objectives, good things happen, okay? The agenda can be something like draw a card. Okay, so for example, 2 yellows and 3 whites, complete this particular agenda, you'd get to draw one of these 3 cards.
Oh, I see, and there's our third one, is going up along the edge.
Going up along the edge there, once you complete that, then you'd get to complete a base. When you have a base, you can add it to your star systems. When you get additional cards, they give you additional agendas that you can perform. When you complete the agenda, they give you the benefits. So, for example, one of the ways to win is to advance your tech tree or to advance the peace track. If any one of these, if you collect 5 of any one of the symbols, then you'll be able to claim victory. And that can come very, very quickly. This game, even though it's a classic 4X game, even though there's a lot going on, the game itself legitimately takes 1 hour.
Wow.
So you can get a game in a really short amount of time considering everything that's going on. So it'll happen turn by turn. You draw 3 chips out of your bag, see what you've got, you start to put them on your cards. One of the dynamic tensions of the game is the more chips or resources you take out of the bag, the less you have to do other things. So you have to complete objectives, you have to get resources back into your bag so that you have the resources to do other objectives. One of the ways you do that is you can settle a planet. And so by settling the planet, I put one cube there. Since it matches my color, I get to draw 3 out of the resource bag
and that
take
brings some more in.
3 back in. If I were to say I need blue, well, I put a blue resource on a red planet, I would get blue, but I'd only get 2. So if I really needed blue for whatever reason, I go, well, this is a good planet for me to go to. So by rotating the map, looking at the different kind of objectives and the different colors that you need for the different species, what objectives you get or agendas that you get in regard to the new cards that you have, and leaders have new things. You can get government types that give you new things as well. So once you have a government, you can do more new things. So the more and more new things you do, the more options you have to try to win. Try to win one of a couple ways. Defeat an enemy base. So if you take out one other player by completing their base, that's a military victory. If you can get all your bases, and there are 9, if you can get those onto the different planets,
exploration victory.
There's another one. If you can get 5 of any one resource, and again, there's 5 different resources, but if you can get 5 of these different victory conditions, one of them, then you're often going there too. So there's another way to win. So the game allows for a multitude of different strategies and a multiple different ways that you can actually win. Could be going for conflict, and that's the last thing I'll explain real quickly. So when you have a conflict, you can, instead of trying to build a pathway to the stars, you can just try to take it over really quickly, okay? And so one of the things that happens then is, and I'll pull one of this one for example, a peacekeeping mission. If I were to lay this card like this, it means I'm going along the path. That means I'm going to engage in a conflict. If I yellow, white, blue, and 3 red, when I complete that, I'll get a new conflict card because evidently peacekeeping is boring in the galaxies of the future. But I'll also, this symbol right here means I get to take one of my bases out of my reserve and I get to immediately put a base there. So I bypass having to build one, I just go ahead and in essence take over a base that might already be there. then this goes away, it goes back into my hand, and later on I can use that same one to go here. I can also turn the card around and say, well, I don't really want to take over this planet.
Here, I'm going to put that over there, yes.
Well, I don't really want to take over this planet. I want these cards. I want a new, I can destroy a conflict card of an opponent. I can get one of these cards here, Progress, Commerce, or Expansion, and I can get a new leader. So it's another way to quick start if I have a lot of red. So depending if I have a lot of red resources or a lot of blue, that may dictate my kinds of strategy.
And you could, as those cards come back to your hand, the next time it comes back out could be on its flip side, depending on what you have at the time.
And once I complete the conflict, some of the ones with the little stars, they go back into the reserves, they're expended, but the rest go back into my bag. So again, as you start with 25, you'll quickly go to 30, 35, well, but I've got a lot of them out on different resources. You can have a hand of 7, so you can have quite a few agendas going at the same time, which is valuable. But if you get if you lose track of what your goal is, then suddenly you can find, well, all my white cubes are out on the table, and now I have to retrench and abandon some of my agendas so that I can get white cubes back in my bag. So maybe I can draw them out and complete the things that are really important to me. There we go.
Now, how long, as you said, if a game takes a full hour, how many players can we support?
4 people, 2 to 4 players. And when we say 4 people in an hour, we had 1 person that knew the rules, 3 people who did not. We taught the rules. We played the game in an hour and 10 minutes on Tuesday night.
And that includes the teaching. So
includes the teaching. So start to finish, we got the whole game in. And one of the new guys won, much to my embarrassment. So because I was the guy who theoretically was explaining the rules.
So if you want to cram a 4X game into a much shorter amount of time than you would normally expect for a 4X game, I suggest you guys check out Masters of the Galaxy, which is being published by Ares Games. And Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.